Hi, my name is Emily, and this is the Sunshine M's podcast. This past month, we've been talking about the different types of love and how I think that they are all very important. The one that we haven't quite mentioned yet is probably the most important one, in my opinion, and that is self-love. I'm not talking about Instagram highlight level, all for show self-love. I'm talking about the nitty-gritty, the messy, the personal, the vulnerable, the uncomfortable type of self-love. It does not look like having a big ego or exuding so much confidence that everyone's like, wow, who are you? As a Leo, it is super expected of me to have self-love and being obsessed with myself as like something that comes naturally. My self-love has been a task. It is something that I've learned to do. It did not come naturally. It was not an easy thing. It's something I have to work on every single day. Like I mentioned in previous episodes, I have been bullied, I have been used, and even as young as 3 years old, I was told that my body didn't look how it should. So from a very young age, I was very aware of the space that I would take up. I was very aware of what my space meant and what space I should fit into. And that means physically and emotionally. I was always told that I was too much with everything. Emily, you're doing too much. You're crying too much. You're too much drama. You're too much emotions. You're suffocating us. You're doing too much. It's not that serious. Like a nonchalant. I've never had a nonchalant moment probably in my life, and I don't care to have one. Something about me is that I love loudly. I feel loudly. I am myself 100% of the time. And that includes being what some people think is too much. But it's a little hard and a little emotional for me to talk about. But self-love is not selfish. It is not about having a big ego. It is not about thinking you're the best person in the room. I've never thought that in my life. What it does mean is keeping promises to yourself. It means listening to your body. It means speaking kindly of yourself, knowing you deserve those words. It's not accepting poor behavior. It's making boundaries and holding them up. It's allowing yourself to have space to grow and not pigeonhole yourself into a corner because that's what's expected of you. Self-love is not about expectations. It's not about thinking you deserve more than other people, but it is knowing that your life, your company, your presence, your attitude, your personality has value. It has worth, and it's worth a lot. My mom always told me, like, you're no better than anyone else. Everyone sucks is kind of the mentality that my mom had. And so I didn't think that I was smarter than other kids. I didn't think that I was prettier than other kids. I did not think that, I was the best person out there, the most loyal, the kindest, the sweetest, the prettiest. Like, I never thought those things, but I was raised around a lot of people who did think those things. I will forever value my character over people's perception of me. Don't get me wrong, I am a people pleaser. I have a hard time separating my value from what people think of me. It's something I have to do every single day. Like, if someone says something in a certain tone, I take it personally. And that's something I have to work on every day. Self-love is more than just being like, I love myself, I'm pretty, I am cool, I am smart. But best believe you better be saying not, I'm so ugly. I'm so stupid. Why did I do this? I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. Like, it's okay to have bad days and it's okay to have bad moments. And it's even okay to feel down about yourself. But what you're not going to do is have that determine and dictate every single part of your life. I used to completely depend on how the people around me felt about me. And that left me in complete despair. And I had the unfortunate moment of sharing that with some people who did not care about me. And they used that against me. I've had people tell me that I'm just doing too much in everything that I do. But what if I am not too much? Like, what if we reframe that phrase of you're doing too much? And think about, like, why am I doing this and why is it that it's considered too much to other people? I have too much empathy. I'm too woke. I'm too emotional. I'm too sensitive. I'm a snowflake. Like, or I don't know, hear me out. I have a bleeding heart. I have a big heart that bleeds for others, and I am constantly thinking about being in others' shoes. That can be seen as a curse. And honestly, at times it is a curse. It is super exhausting to feel all of the things that I feel constantly. But it's also a superpower. I have endless love. I have an opportunity to understand people that I may not understand. I have an opportunity to care even when it feels like it is killing me. If I have a moment to help someone else, I'm going to do it. Am I tired? Am I exhausted? Do I want to do this? No. But I have that capability. That is something that I'm proud of. That is something that I hope I never lose. No matter how hard life gets, no matter how hard and cold the world gets, I hope I never lose the softness. I hope I never lose my ability to give a fuck. I think that right now we are really into, you know, do less. It shows that you're interested. That's not how you're gonna win me over. I don't know about y'all, like good luck out there. But if someone is avoiding me, I take it at face value. Why would I not take that at face value? If someone is going out of their way to not talk to me, my first thought is not, oh, they must be in love with me. Oh, they must really like me. No. Like I said, I love loudly and I love others around me so loudly. And it got to the point where I was like, why am I not loving myself this loud? Why am I not putting in so much effort like I do for everyone else? I'm not going to put myself over other people. It's just not who I've ever been. But why am I all the way at the bottom of the list? How can I give from an empty cup? I keep pouring into other people. My cup is empty. How am I supposed to keep pouring if I don't fill my own cup as well? Or like, the metaphor on airplanes where it's like when an air mask drops, put your mask on and then you help the person next to you. Why is it that we don't do that for ourselves? I would love to talk about why self-love is so hard, especially for women. We live in a society where self-sacrifice for women is admired and applauded and valued. We live in a society where body image has to be a certain way, diet culture is ramping up every single day, and we see value in a certain look. But no one's going to fit that exact look. There's a lot of pressure and expectations on women to do everything and then do it with a smile, to win the Olympics, but then still be seen as less than their male counterparts that just won the same exact medal. Fun fact, it's the same medal. Cool, we both won gold. In society, there are so many opportunities for certain people, right? You can call it what it is, it's privilege. And for a lot of women, we do not have the privilege of caring for ourselves. We're the homemaker, the nurturer, the mom, the main parent, the bad guy in a lot of circumstances in families. I'm not speaking for everyone, but there is this expectation um, and a societal norm for women to stay at home, right? To raise the kids. Yet they are not seen as putting in work when they are home raising the kids. In a society where we are constantly praising men for the bare minimum and we're constantly telling women that they could be doing more, why would that be a society where self love is encouraged for women? There are expectations to have kids immediately. And obviously, part of that has to do with our biological clocks. I understand that it is easier to have children younger than older for women because of our bodies. I know biology, I understand it. But there's this expectation of settling down and doing everything right, and then maybe you can get to your career. And there are people who look down on women who put their career first in their trajectory, in their path, in their journey. That's not a society that approves or acknowledges self love for the important act that it is. It's just not. And that's why you find women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s having to start all over, whether that be leaving a marriage or having a new career or going back to school because they weren't given that opportunity to explore these parts of their lives years prior. Because the main priority when you have kids is to have kids, and that's your main role, be a mother. If you work overtime, you're not a good mother. If you leave and have a vacation, you're not a good mother. That's the expectation for women, unfortunately. My sister is a mom and she does it fucking amazingly. She works her ass off at work. She even works part time at home. And she has him strapped to her. And he's going through a lot of emotions right now. He's 4 months old and he's struggling because he is constantly screaming, wanting different things. He can't communicate yet. So it's really hard for the both of them. And she has him strapped to her while she is working. And yet there's a part of her that feels like she's not doing enough at either task, her job and being a mother. Yet someone who's on the outside of that sees her as the Wonder Woman that she is, a spectacular mom, an amazing worker. But it's so easy to see all of these roles and be like, well, you suck at all of them. No. Hello. No. You are not a bad person for doing multiple things at once. But y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Sorry about the tangent. But this society is not meant for women to take their time because biologically we don't have time to give. Our clocks are running out, we're going to run out of eggs, and then there's a chance of being a mother, let alone the expectation that women should want to be mothers. I know a lot of people who don't want to be moms. Okay, so then they go, well, now what? We are praised for sacrificing our souls and our energy and our time to bend over backwards for these roles that are set up for us. That is praised. Not, how hard it is. That's not praised. It's well, are you making a sacrifice? But those sacrifices aren't fully put on equally to men. I'm going to jump off my high horse when it comes to this topic, and I probably will jump back on this topic at a later episode. Self-love means allowing yourself the space to be yourself. It's okay to not know. I barely know who I am most days. Every day I'm learning more about myself. But I'm giving myself space to learn about myself. I'm giving myself space to grow. I am learning what bothers me and I'm speaking up against it. Even when it's uncomfortable, even when I'm expected to be quiet. If you know me, I probably have never been quiet in my life unless I have a crush on a person and then I'm avoiding them like the plague. That's the only time I'm quiet. I am loud. I take up space. I'm no longer forcing myself into the space that was given to me because I've grown. I saw a quote recently that was saying, you're an ocean and it's okay to be an ocean. Do not turn yourself into a pond because people can't swim. That just changed everything for me because I'm not ashamed for loving loudly. I'm not ashamed for reaching out to my friends. I'm not ashamed for hoping that they care the same way I care. That I'm not ashamed of that. I'm not ashamed of having expectations of people. I'm not ashamed that my expectations or my standards are high. I'm not ashamed of that because I also know what I want. I know what I deserve. And I also have just about endless grace for people. I'm constantly trying to understand why people do what they do. You can ask Ashlyn. She has seen me give grace for people who probably didn't deserve. I think when you see yourself give so much grace to other people, but you're not giving that grace to yourself, it's putting yourself back at the bottom of your list of priorities and things that you value. You need to give yourself grace for any of your actions that you've done in the past. You've grown from those actions. You've moved on from those actions. You've healed from those actions. Even if you haven't yet, you're not the person you were when you did those actions. So why is it you're holding against yourself as if you are the same person who made those actions willingly? I personally believe that self-love is something that every single person should emulate every single day. Self-love can be as little as taking a long shower because you enjoy them, listening to music on your drive home. It can be having 3 meals a day because you know that fueling your body is a way to love yourself. It could be about moving your body because you know how you feel and you know that you want to move. Self-love can be as simple as actions you do to love yourself. It can be as big as not letting people in your life that don't add value or don't try to understand where you're coming from. Self-love can be heavy. It can be super light. It can be exhausting. It is exhausting sometimes to know that I deserve more. Because now that you know that you deserve more, what are you going to do with it? Right. I kind of explain it like, when you have an idea to completely rearrange your entire room, right? So you take all your clothes out of the dresser to move the dresser, and then you look at everything and you're like, oh, I don't really have any more energy to continue on this task, but now I have left a mess everywhere. That's kind of like realizing that you deserve more than what you're getting, realizing your worth and seeing people or activities in your life not up to that standard. Because now you're like, okay, now I've noticed that I deserve more. To continue, I have to continue forward. And that means advocating for yourself. That means having hard conversations. That means being honest and authentic in your relationships so that they know who you are. That means knowing that you deserve better, knowing what you want, and then making a step in the right direction. It's really hard. That's really uncomfortable. That's something that I've been working on for years of not just loving myself, loving my body, but loving my mind, loving personality traits of myself, and knowing that it's okay to do what I do. It's okay to feel how I feel. Now what? Do I allow myself to get walked all over because I care about someone? Does that mean that I just sit and take it because I'm uncomfortable? I'm not saying it's going to be an easy path. I'm not saying it's going to be a path you want to take, but I invite you guys to start being observant of the world around you. What makes you feel better? What makes you feel worse? Why is it that it makes you feel worse? Okay, this person did that. Now that they've done that, I feel icky. Why do I feel icky? Well, that hurt my feelings. Why did it hurt my feelings? What made me feel unappreciated? Do I not have worth? Should I not feel appreciated? And just start asking yourself the questions that create more questions. I'm not saying that you're going to get to the root of all your problems ever at all. But I do think that without loving yourself and all that you are today, how are you showing up in your relationships without admiring yourself? Are you showing up as a fake version of yourself? How is that fair for that relationship? How is that authentic? How is that going to progress into a positive and beautiful friendship, relationship, partnership? If you're not yourself and you don't value yourself. Sorry, I went on so many tangents on this one. We'll see how I edited it. Hopefully, it looks beautiful at the end. So, if you're listening to this, it must have been good enough to put out. For those who don't know, I am a wellness and nutrition coach. I specialize in self love, oddly enough, and I do have a current one on one coaching that focuses on self love and actions on how to treat your body and your mind through a wellness and nutrition lens. I am certified, and the program is called Love Letters to Your Body. And you can find it on my website or my link tree or my Instagram or my TikTok. And those are under the username sunshine.ems. And yeah, small little self promo. Sorry, y'all. I am very, very, very excited to talk about the overall topic for next month because, girl, did you know that March is literally coming up like in like a couple days? What? March already? I know. The main topic for March is going to be in between seasons. It's not quite winter, it's not quite spring, and I'm going to be talking about growing, specifically when you outgrow certain things and people, and what it kind of looks like to be in this in between season, how it's super uncomfortable, and where to go from there. If you're interested in those episodes, they will be coming out on the Fridays of March 2026. Thank you so much for listening to Sunshine M's podcast. I invite you guys to take what you need, leave what you don't, and I will see you next Friday for our next topic series. Until next time, keep showing up for yourself. I love, love, love you guys, and I hope that you love yourself as well. Bye.